So let's start with work, because the way organization look at workforce today, given longevity, there's going to be fundamental changes that they even need to rethink about employees and employability, right? So therefore, can you talk about that?
Okay. So, so let me start with the extreme end. So you heard of DAOs, DAOs and all that, right? Distributed autonomous organizations.
Correct.
So you have that level of disparate way of working versus the traditional corporate way that exists today. My view is the current big organizations are going to struggle with readjusting, because to change them is more difficult than starting a new company and having the new company do something differently. So I actually think, this is again my view, that we'll have, as time goes, we'll have newer companies and newer models come up than existing companies and existing models changing to adapt to this new way of working. And the example is like, when I go talk to people, and it's a simple example. When I talk to organizations to say, look, can you create roles for experts who want to work part-time? The current HR systems are so ingrained where to move one piece, you have to move 10 other pieces. Right? Oh, our org chart doesn't have this. If someone comes, who will they report to? How will we pay them? How will we hand over if they only work 2 days and the other 3 days someone else works? So I think, it's like how India bypassed, landlines in a whole way to actually get to digital. Because, yes, we had landlines, yes, we had the weights, but, at the end, we still progressed much more on telecom than the US did, for example. So my view is,
Exactly.
there will be a significant shift in newer age companies adapting to this new way of work, as opposed to current big companies changing it. Right? So, and I can see that in my own startup, the way we work is very different from how I work in the traditional companies. We don't have any set time of coming in or leaving. There's a lot more flexibility on leave and when people come, when they work, what they do. I think we have rituals, right? So, for example, a Friday lunch ritual. Everybody shows up, right? So, I actually think, organizations will become ritual based to bring people together, but at the same time adapting to what individuals need and how they want to work. So the role of HR shifts, the role of expertise shifts, the role of management shifts. Then you are now, and the good part is during COVID, we've actually seen a lot of this happen already. So the base has been set of what is possible. That you can get productive organizations without actually having people there. Now, of course, there are these questions around culture and this and that. And so, again, the change will be, and now let me approach it from an organization. Organizations are coming to us saying, look, we want 10% of our workforce as flexible workforce. I have had, and this is this is a $40 billion company that we are working with, which has told us in measuring terms, saying 10% of our staff, senior staff, should be on flexible payroll, which means they can work when they want, plus we can fire them when we want. Right? Because so this whole notion of, and again, so that is going to change. The other thing which we are already seeing, right, the ability of older people to continue working has increased and will continue to increase. There are many more people who are older or post-retirement who want to continue working than there are roles for those people today. So I think there is also that shift of desire to continue working. Now, whether the desire is for continuing to make money, and I have a view there as well, I actually think the desire is to stay relevant and be respected. Right? And to stay relevant, which then, talks about learn, and we'll talk about that. But there will be pockets. I mean, right now, even in my friend circle, people are talking about, I wish I had taken, 10 years off when my kids were between 8 and 18. Right? Because that's the time I want to spend with them, because after 18 they'll go their way, I can then come back. So I think building in flexibility into work, women anyway do it, or rather sometimes are forced to do it by themselves or by the nature of society and how it's structured. But now I think it will become a lot more prevalent. However, it's not in the horizon. I mean, you see, we know it will happen, but it's not happening.